For my cool theory number one, I decided to research discovery learning. This was something that I hadn't heard of before, so I thought this would be a great opportunity to research a little bit more about it and to learn exactly what it is and how it can be applied in my classroom. Discovery learning was created by Robert Bruner in the 1960s. It is when students learn by doing. Um, it allows students to teach themselves and for them to become better problem solvers. They are becoming active participants in their learning rather than just sitting and listening to their teacher lecture in the classroom and staying in their seats. Teachers may introduce a topic, but they are side by side with the students, learning alongside with them. They're encouraging students to draw upon their previous experiences and their prior knowledge when they're learning about these new ideas. Students are also encouraged to explore and manipulate objects, to perform experiments, and to explore different questions and controversies. Throughout the discovery learning process, there are some guidelines that students tend to follow. To start off, they collect and interpret data. Then, once that data is collected, they generate hypotheses and questions, and they describe and try to understand the topic. And then finally, once they have done that, they can either accept or reject their hypotheses, they can make conclusions, and interpret the data at the very end of the learning process. Why is discovery learning important? Educators are starting to see the value of students being able to guide their own learning and to determine what's interesting to them and what they want to learn more about. Students are moving away from sitting in desks all day and listening to teachers. So discovery learning is a great way to engage them rather than just having the students receive direct instruction all the time. Discovery learning also meets the ISTE standards that we have been talking about this semester. It allows them to collaborate with one another. It allows them to utilize technology during the research process. It allows them to become more fluent with their research and with the information that they gather. And it also encourages them to use their critical thinking skills and their problem solving skills because they are really in it on their own learning and they are not being handheld by their teacher who is telling them what to do each step of the way. The teacher is giving them free rein to learn at their own pace. How can you apply this in your classroom? I thought a great way that this could be applied would be through the use of WebQuest. WebQuest will also allow teachers to incorporate technology into the lesson because students will be allowed to research either on computers or on iPads to learn more about whatever topic is at hand. While the students are conducting their WebQuest, they'll be collecting and interpreting data just like Bruner suggested in the discovery learning model. WebQuests are guided by student interest. They're allowed to choose what aspect of it is interesting to them before they create their final project. And throughout the WebQuest process, the teacher is assisting them and is side by side learning with them, just like in the discovery learning process. She's not standing up and lecturing, she's encouraging them along the way. And although that the discovery learning process might seem a little overwhelming because it's giving students more freedom with their learning and allowing them to choose what they want to learn and is more than just giving them worksheets and lectures, it's worth it in the long run because Bruner discovered that students will be able to remember information in the long term because they have really experienced it and discovered it, and it's not just being regurgitated from their memory. They've actually learned it and applied it. And so I think that discovery learning would be a great thing for us to implement in our classrooms.